In the 10th book of the Odyssey, Odysseus's men arrive on the island of Aeaea and accept a drink from the sorceress Circe. Within moments of swallowing the potion, they suffer a terrifying transformation. Their bodies warp into wild swine, though their human minds remain trapped inside. For centuries, readers have viewed this as a moment of pure fantasy, a classic fairy tale about a witch and her magic wand. However, the ancient Greeks lived in a world where the lines between ritual magic and practical medicine were often blurred. Scholars in the field of geomythology suggest these stories often contain observations of the natural world. In this view, the account of Aeaea isn't just a poem, but a record of specific survival knowledge regarding the flora of the Mediterranean. When we look at the specific ingredients and symptoms Homer describes, the magic begins to look like a sophisticated understanding of botanical pharmacology. Circe's potion, Bacchikion, was a mixture of wine, cheese, honey, and barley grains. To a pharmacologist, this is more than a meal. It is a delivery system. These ancient grains were frequently host to Claviceps purpurea, a parasitic fungus known as ergot. This fungus produces lysergic acid, a chemical precursor to modern hallucinogens. If consumed, it can induce vivid, terrifying delusions. The alcohol in the wine would have helped dissolve and extract these alkaloids, making the potion a potent hallucinogenic cocktail. But the sailors didn't just see things, they lost their memories and their sense of self. These symptoms, combined with the swine behavior, align with the effects of anticholinergic poisoning, a condition caused by various toxic plants that Circe reportedly added to her brew. The men weren't physically transformed. They were chemically incapacitated, suffering a drug-induced delirium so profound that they believed they had become animals. To counter this, Odysseus receives help from the god Hermes, who provides a specific herb called moly. It is described as having a black root and a milk-white flower. This description matches the Galanthus nivalis, or the common snowdrop. The snowdrop is a natural source of galantamine, a powerful chemical compound. This molecule is an acetylcholine esterase inhibitor. In modern emergency medicine, we use this exact class of compound to reverse anticholinergic poisoning. It clears the neural pathways, effectively stripping away the delirium. Odysseus didn't rely on divine intervention. He survived by administering a targeted, chemically active antidote to his crew. But even with the pharmacology explained, a question remains. Why did Circe attack these men in the first place? The answer lies in xenia, the ancient Greek law of hospitality. This wasn't just a social courtesy, it was a sacred obligation overseen by Zeus himself. In this era, feasts were formal tools used to forge alliances, mobilize labor, and settle debts. They were the foundation of social and political order. In this context, gluttony was a serious offense. It meant consuming at an inappropriate time or taking resources without the host's consent. Odysseus's men arrived uninvited and began consuming the island's resources. To Circe, they weren't guests, they were intruders threatening her survival. Her poison wasn't an act of random malice. It was a severe, culturally sanctioned response to a violation of the law. Once Odysseus counters the poison and establishes mutual respect, the dynamic changes instantly. Circe shifts from a threat to a host, eventually sharing her home and vital supplies with the crew for an entire year. Physical locations like Mount Circeo on the Italian coast remind us of the real frontiers where travelers were completely isolated. In these places, survival depended on establishing peaceful exchanges. Circe provides the final proof of her hospitality by giving Odysseus the precise navigational coordinates and winds he needs to find his way home. The story of Aeaea suggests that survival in the ancient world required two things: a deep knowledge of the local environment and the strict social contracts that kept strangers from becoming enemies.